It's a very sad state of affairs for all Victorians to be played as a fool by our politicians. But that's exactly how we've been treated by the Victorian Health Minister, Jenny Mikakos, and the state government. What are we to expect from a minister after she took to Twitter almost a fortnight ago now to declare her heartfelt apologies for any mistakes that were made by her as the Minister for Health in this fight against COVID-19? Mikakos, in what was a pretty lengthy late-night rant, thought it was acceptable to apologise to Victorians via social media. Well, Minister, it isn't. It's not what a minister should do, and it also lacked any sincerity by wanting to address an issue that has been very much in the minds of all Victorians for the past few months. The loss of lives, the destruction of business, along with the state slowly grinding to a halt. That's a pretty huge price for all Victorians to pay because of her efforts as Health Minister. And it's not just an apology that's currently being sought. We want answers too. Apologising via social media was not smart, and whomever is advising Mikakos has certainly failed her again. It seems Mikakos and her team, whoever they may be, have very little or no understanding of how to effectively manage a crisis, or indeed understand what Victorians want. To apologise for the sake of apologising isn't good enough. And saying sorry because you think it may win you a few brownie points, well, that's delusional. You've lost much, much more respect than you've earned. I think it was amateur hour, and it goes right to the very heart of why Victoria is in this current mess that we're all in, and why the state is very much on its knees. There has been no thought. There's been a real lack of consideration and a propensity to fly by the seat of their pants, just making things up as they go along. And to say sorry, well, you need to mean it. Minister Mikakos must also know what it is that she's apologising for. But it seems to me that she clearly doesn't, and she still refuses to answer what everyone wants to know. In all the foreowning of her Twitter rant, the so-called apology, the self-declaration of anxiety that she's felt, along with her many sleepless nights, not once in the whole rant did she provide an explanation. We were told by her that she has worked really hard and tirelessly for Victorians. Well, Minister, you can work as hard as you like, but if you screw things up as you did and you've achieved nothing. Hard work is not a substitute for competence. So please, it's an insult to all Victorians to say that you worked hard and that we should appreciate all your efforts. And if your efforts weren't good enough, then all you can say is sorry, then I'm sorry. That sorry won't cut it. The Victorian government seems pretty good at blaming all Victorians for the current mess this state finds itself in. It is they, though, who are at fault because of their collective incompetence. Minister Mikakos, your recent tweet is a cop-out. And what's even worse is your decision to take to social media and apologise for matters that you refuse to acknowledge. Again, rather than be honest and own up to your errors and address a press conference and answer questions, what has the minister chosen to do? Snub the opportunity to put a case forward. Instead, she thumbed her nose at every Victorian. It's akin to treating every Victorian with disdain. Her office has lied on repeated occasions. Take, for example, the closure of the oncology ward at the Alfred Hospital, when a patient unknowingly presented to the hospital and had COVID. Well, more than 100 staff and patients were quarantined. She thought it was best to cover up the news. And when the Cedar Meats fiasco broke, she sought to appoint a former departmental communications manager to manage the narrative on the government's behalf. Another cover-up. And the list, well, it just goes on and on and on. I think the time has come for her to resign. The time is now to address the media and to explain what's gone wrong and what has been doing all this time and why she has failed us. There are many, many, many questions that she needs to answer. She's obliged to answer them. And let's say it again, Twitter is not a forum for her to be on. The forum is a media conference where she can answer all the questions that are put to her. Now, if she doesn't want to do that, then I think her time as the Minister for Health must end. Jenny Mikakos must resign.